Tonight on Evening.
1, 2, you know what to do.
By day, she's a music professor.
Oh, I try, I just can't find the words of gratitude.
But her side hustle is singing in a Grammy Award-winning group.
Hey, it's me, Ciscoe, and I've got some incredible plants to show you, the really early bloomers.
And
Feels really strange, or to see myself in a magazine or something.
flashback 20 years to when Maple Valley's Brandi Carlile was just taking off.
Welcome to the show from Peachtree Fort at Aroma Coffee Company in Falls City. I'm St. Brian, and we are here to experience what it's like to sip a latte high in a tree among the squirrels. It's the only coffee house where you'll find kids clambering up a tree like squirrels. When Aroma Coffee opened up in Falls City 5 years ago, among the first customers was a local celebrity, master treehouse builder Pete Nelson, who said, you know what this place really needs? A tree fort.
And we were like, yeah, we do actually, that would be great. And so he brought us drawings of the most beautiful tree fort we'd ever seen. And then we heard nothing for a couple years. And this fall he came to us and said, guess what? We have permits, we're building a tree fort.
It's going to be a beautiful wooden sculpture, essentially, that is based on the designs of the traditional Norwegian stave churches. These are these 1,000-year-old wooden churches that are still in existence in Norway.
For 2.5 months, Pete Nelson and his crew built the tree fort as customers watched, sipping coffee. The fun has only just started. This is the first Pete Nelson treehouse completely open to the public.
It's a fun place to play, huh, Hayden?
So magical.
People are discovering it still all the time. It's so fun to have both kids and adults alike just up and down the stairs coming to visit.
Our tagline is gather, savor, linger. And now that we have the tree fort, we love to say gather, savor, linger, play.
Peachtree Fort is open at the same time as Aroma Coffee Company, Monday through Saturday from 6:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. All right, Ray Charles, Quincy Jones, Ernestine Anderson, just some of the jazz greats that got their start in Seattle. Now add to that list a vocal group who have local ties and are on a Grammy-winning streak. On the campus of Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle.
See y'all at the end. 1, 2, 3, baseline.
Janae Kendrick is guiding the next generation of musicians.
I love offering the knowledge that I have, but it's also, I learned so much from my students.
Chorus last time. 1, 2, you know what to do.
When she's not teaching jazz,
I bet when you see the ocean,
Janae is busy singing it.
you're drawn to the strength inside the wave.
As a member of the all-female jazz vocal group, Sage.
It's an acronym for each of our names, Sarah, Amanda, Janae, and Aaron. It all kind of came together where Sarah, whom I've known for 20 years, was like, I've been talking about maybe starting a group with Aaron and Amanda, and I was like, I don't know them, but I'm in.
I know it's just as hard. I know it's just as hard.
Their bond has been based in a shared love of vocal harmony and improvisation. What's remarkable, the four live in different cities around the country. They've also done it all independently, without a record label, relying instead on crowdfunding, the internet, and their own DIY skills.
I take out my vocal part, and then I'm practicing along to Sarah's practice and Aaron's practice and Amanda's practice. So we're all like throwing everything into our computers and listening and practicing along with recordings until we're able to be in the same place.
In the wee small hours of the morning.
Their 2023 self-produced debut album made serious waves in the jazz world.
And the Grammy goes to In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning, Aaron Bentley.
In 2024, the group won their first Grammy Award.
So I try, I just can't find the words of gratitude.
It wasn't a fluke. Sage won their second Grammy in 2025 for their song Alma.
We're gonna be the next blank. That was never the vibe. It really was just like Let's write things that make us feel good, that we enjoy.
I can't help it. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it. Even if I could.
From coast to coast and right here in Seattle, Sage is showing great music doesn't need a big corporate machine to succeed. Just talent, trust, and a whole lot of harmony.
The gift of being able to express ourselves and connect with people through music is just a really, really beautiful blessing.
Very talented ladies. Look for a second album from Sage later this year. Our next story is a home for sale on Whidbey Island, where the only thing more spectacular than the house are the views that surround it. It is tonight's Unreal Estate. For many, Whidbey Island is a weekend retreat. But for former Boeing CEO Phil Condit and his wife Gita, Whidbey is home.
Her island time, Whidbey's that way. You slow down when you get on the island, and it's a great feeling.
Now the Condits want to keep that great feeling going in a smaller house, so they're putting their picturesque waterfront home in Freeland on the market. Over the years, the couple have made numerous personal refinements to the property that they purchased back in 2015.
What we were changing is details. Change the details to fit our lifestyle and our family and our friends.
Those changes start in the kitchen.
It had a higher counter, and we like to visit and talk to whoever's sitting in the family room or at the dining table. So we lowered the counter to be able to do that and changed it more into a shared cooking space.
So the library actually was originally a game room, and what we wanted was something a little more intimate, a little more friendly. It's a place that you can come sit, watch TV, talk.
Along with business mementos from Phil's years at Boeing, there are creations throughout the house that Phil made with his own hands.
For us, it's not about decorating. It's about the things that we love, the things that we make.
Upstairs, you'll find the sleeping areas, including built-in bunk beds and a spacious primary bedroom with views that make it difficult to ever leave your bed.
You wake up slowly, you look out the window. It's peaceful, and it has an amazing view.
The home also comes with a 1,000-bottle wine cellar, a window-lined home office, and a game room they affectionately call the hangar.
When the family's here, we'll all of a sudden realize we're missing 4 kids. Where are they? Okay, they're out in the hangar.
But it's the home's location along the sandy shores of Useless Bay that makes it one of the sweetest spots on the island.
Sunsets, sunrises, spectacular. My phone is filled with pictures of Mount Rainier in the morning.
We've both been part of, a lot of substantial listings, but this one is, again, just a very unique, very special place. And it's not just the size or the price, but it's just kind of everything that comes with it.
Pacific Northwest charm with a touch of East Coast elegance. The Condits hope the new owners of their Whidbey retreat will find it a perfect spot to land.
It's a place that needs to be alive and loved, and it deserves that.
Beautiful home, the waterfront retreat on Whidbey Island can be yours for $12.5 million. Better start digging through those couch cushions for some spare change. Do you have $12.5 million?
No, I don't have any dollars.
You don't have any dollars?
Still to come. Flashback 20 years when Evening interviewed up-and-coming singer Brandi Carlile. But up next, want early spring color in your garden? Ciscoe gives his top 4 plant picks.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
I want to check that out.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Welcome back to the show from Pete's Tree Fort at Aroma Coffee Company in Fall City. There are some obvious springtime flowers, your daffodils, tulips, your irises, and then there are the kind of early bloomers that gardening expert Ciscoe Morris wants to talk about.
Every spring, people walk by and they go, "What is that plant? What is that plant?" because there are some plants that bloom really early in spring. A lot of them attract hummingbirds, and they sure add a lot of beauty to your garden. So this is a bleeding heart. They come from China. They'll get 3 feet by 3 feet. This is a special one. Look at that golden foliage on there. So this is called gold heart. I'll tell you what, the rufous hummingbird coming back from Mexico and Central America sees these flowers and goes, this is where I want to make my home. So if you plant lots of these around, you might get rufous hummingbird nests. So here's a rarity you may have never heard of. This is Cardamom Cappadocia. Cappadocia is from the area of Turkey where this grows native. And so it's just this cute little mauve-colored flower that's got one little problem that I've noticed, and that is it attracts these doggone hippopotamuses. I don't know how you get rid of those, but this is a wonderful plant. Just needs a little semi-shade, a little moisture, and it'll come back every spring. Check out this corydalus. This is always one of the first plants to bloom in my garden every spring, and I've seen the hummingbirds hit this one before, so it's another great plant for spring and for your hummingbirds. So another great spring bloomer, really early, is called Pulmonaria or lungwort. This plant likes moist shade and it seeds around politely. You can't go wrong. This one is silver bouquet. And you know what the old-time gardeners used to call this? The brother and sister plant, because it's got pink and blue flowers on it at the same time. I think it's one of the most beautiful plants in the garden. And I'll just tell you, there's so many kinds, you can't go wrong with any of these. They're the best.
All right, thank you, Ciscoe. And of course, we all must beware of those garden hippos. If you'd like to learn more about Ciscoe's early bloomers, head on over to our website at king5evening.com. And speaking of gardening, a lot of people are planting themselves in front of NBC's new dark-humored murder mystery, Grosse Pointe Garden Society.
We asked cast members Melissa Fumero and Asia Naomi King whether or not they have green thumbs in real life.
Whatever's in between the two. Yellow thumb, greenish, lime green, like a lime green thumb. That's probably where I land. Yeah, I won't kill your plant, but it might not thrive with me either.
Oh, you poor thing.
As for Asia Naomi King, she's not a gardener. She just plays one on TV.
Yeah, any plants with me, you gotta wanna live on your own. You gotta be able to survive without me because I have no green thumb.
You can find out where the dead plants and the bodies are buried at Grosse Pointe Garden Society's new time, Fridays at 8, right after evening on NBC.
All right, before we head to break, something from my road trip in Northern California last week. On Glassy Beach in the coastal town of Fort Bragg, ground squirrels burrow along the pathways, and some are so used to getting fed by people, they can get quite aggressive.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
When we return,
To the little dark-haired boy who played the Tennessee flat-top box.
take a 20-year trip back in time to see and hear a young Brandi Carlile.
What are the angels gonna do with you and I?
This is what it looks like when an 11-year-old girl grows up to see her dreams come true. Brandi Carlile performing with her hero Elton John on a recent Saturday Night Live. The album they recorded together is #1 in the UK. Welcome back to the show from Falls City. We have been following Brandi's career long before mainstream radio and the Grammys even knew who she was. And she has 11 Grammys now, if you're counting. But 20 years ago, I interviewed Brandi and her mom just as she was releasing her debut album and was wondering whether her life might change just a bit. She is the subject of our Evening Rewind.
Listen to a voice that will break your heart.
Long as the day, take it away, hold it up and you don't let it fall.
The voice of Columbia recording artist Brandi Carlile, one of Rolling Stone magazine's 10 artists to watch in 2005.
I just smile once in a while, 'cause I don't want the lines on my face.
A voice honed on an isolated farm in rural Ravensdale, Washington.
I used to listen to some of my favorite singers like Patsy Cline and Freddie Mercury. The things they could do with their voice, and I'd lock myself in my room when everybody was gone and just scream and yell and try and see if I could do that.
You fall apart again, and you can find a friend. Don't turn to someone else.
Just 23 years old, Brandi is an artist on the verge of breaking out nationwide. But hers is no overnight success. Brandi had already been performing for 3 years when she sang at this 1993 4th of July celebration in Tacoma.
Do you remember that first time that she took the stage?
I do. I do. And I learned this Roseanne Cash song called Tennessee Flat Top Box.
I think she was a little nervous, you know, a little scared. She was young.
In a little cabaret in a South Texas border town sat a boy and his guitar, and the people came from all around.
The enthusiasm, you know, that was in her came out probably halfway through that song. I could see it. I could see it in her face.
To take a trip, to go and listen.
And boy, that's really all it took.
To the little dark-haired boy who played the Tennessee Flat Top Box, and he would play.
Down, 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 down.
She was really hooked after that. She just loved it. She just loved it.
Oh, it was just the lights and the band and the applause and the backstage and the nervousness and the adrenaline, and just it was really, really rewarding, especially for, you know, an 8-year-old kid. And I will never forget it.
I'm alright, but I miss you and believe.
Brandi has been singing around the Northwest for 15 years. What most performers call a dream, she's always called a goal.
My parents, they never questioned what I was doing at all or ever asked me whether or not I had anything to fall back on. So nobody ever planted those doubts in my mind.
Her self-titled debut is one of those CDs you want to share with everyone you know. Much of it recorded with twins Tim and Phil Hanseroth in her Maple Valley cabin.
Camera is rolling and...
Made a little more cozy on this day for a promotional shoot.
It's amazing because there's a real record out, you know, and it's funny to walk into Fred Meyer and see it on the shelf. It feels really strange, or to see myself in a magazine or something.
The hype machine may be in full swing, but Brandi won't let the big time sweep her away from horse and home.
I'm not real good with change, you know. I live in the same place I grew up and play the same kind of music I grew up playing.
Singing with the same voice that could carry Brandi Carlile far beyond her dreams.
Not sure how many dreams haven't come true for Brandi Carlile, who still lives here in Western Washington. This summer, she and the twins will be touring Europe. The name of the album she recorded with Elton John is Who Believes in Angels.
After the break,
I'm flying above.
check out the latest video from Seattle soul singer Alan Stone. Now in our 39th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Thanks to support from PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com.
All right, that is going to wrap things up for us at Pete's Tree Fort here at Aroma Coffee Company in Falls City. Remember, they are open every day of the week but Sunday. We're going to leave you now with some new music from Seattle soul singer Alan Stone.
Purple, green, red, and blue.
This is Sweet Little Rainbows from Alan's new EP, Mystery. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Little sweet little red.